Once there was this great master who was climbing up a temple. As he approached the temple, he saw 3 dogs tied to chains. They were incredibly vicious. They were barking continuously. You could see their teeth, and it was foaming at the mouth. So at that time, the master asked the man standing beside him, "Is this a safe place to enter?" At that time, the man answered, "Sir, absolutely." So as they entered and they walked past the dogs were continued to barking, and they were like pulling themselves so much that the chain was almost about to break. The master continued to walk into the temple, and as they continued to walk, something happened as they kind of entered the temple space. The master looked around and he couldn't believe his eyes. What happened was that the chains had broken, and the dog's eyes looked furious. They were barking, and the master felt that they were directly coming towards him. The man standing next to the master was really frightened, and at that time what the master did was totally unexpected. Ran into his master, fellow speechcrafters, Toastmasters, and welcome guests. Now most of us in such a situation, we tend to run away from it. But then what the master did was, he ran directly towards the dogs. Now it was an unbelievable sight. Like, the dogs are running across the courtyard of the temple towards the master, and the master is directly running towards the dogs. So at that time something really interesting happened. The dogs hadn't seen something like this happen before. And what happened was that the dogs really got scared and they ran away. And at that time, the master looked over peacefully to the man standing beside him and gave a gentle smile and said, "Always run towards your fear." I profoundly believe that it is the fears that resist us the most in our life. And as the great philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "Do what you fear, and the death of the fear is certain." Fear is a viral fever, viral effect. And the consequences of it are, it leaves us with mediocrity and regret. Now, this plague is partly due to the 2 reasons. One is the societal challenges, and secondly, it's the individual issue. Now, most individuals have a tendency that when they confront fear, they are unable to face it. Now, there's a vaccine for this plague as well. The thing is that you have to run directly towards it, not away from it. The fear has an acronym. It stands for false evidence appearing real. So, I mean, if that it's only a false evidence and it's not reality, the reality isn't as scary as the fear itself. So, I mean, it is so amazing if you see that you're faced by fear and you're feeling disturbed, uncomfortable, and really not secure. At that time, instead of taking the metaphorical exit door, you are instead facing your fear head on, and at that time, there's this really 2 amazing things happen. First thing, you realize that the fear was only a hallucination. And secondly, you realize there's a great outcome out of the bravery that you showed. So most of the times, we are caught by our fears, and we tend to resist it. And the more we tend to resist it, it keeps on persisting. So, the thing is that, I mean, it's okay to fear. Everyone fears at some point or the other. But then, the thing is to overcome that fear with all your guts, and to not let it come again and again. Otherwise, what happens is, fear becomes a lifelong habit. And to overcome that lifelong habit, you have to keep on facing it and to make sure that it never comes in again. I would like to conclude with the saying by Robin Sharma. What he says is that, do what you fear, and you play big. Run from your fear and you shrink from being gay. Thank you. Over to you, Krishna.